Imagine how proud you are as a parent to have your child make the NBA. Now multiply that by 2 or 3 and you have some of the luckiest parents in the world. We all know the Curry brothers, the Morris twins, and Paul and Marc Gasol. But what about some of the less familiar brothers in the NBA? Today we're talking about NBA brothers you didn't know existed. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe below if you want to help us continue bringing you new content. Without further ado, let's talk about some families with the baller genes. Number 1. The Holiday Brothers. The Holiday Brothers aren't necessarily a hidden basketball family, but all-defense all-star Drew takes most of the spotlight. However, his 2 brothers Aaron and Justin are no slouches, both putting up solid numbers for the Pacers this season. And the truth is, the brothers seem destined for the NBA. Born to 2 basketball-playing parents, all 3 Holiday brothers and their sister Lauren had a passion for basketball at a young age, leading Drew, Aaron, and Lauren to play for UCLA, and leading Justin to play for Washington. But what's interesting about the Holiday brothers is that they each have had a unique path to the NBA compared to each other. Even though he is the middle brother, Drew entered the league first and made an impact right away. In his 4th year playing for the 76ers, Drew was already an all-star and has been a vital starting guard for every team since. Justin, on the other hand, had to grind his way into the league, becoming a journeyman for much of it. However, Justin finally started to hit a stride a few years ago, playing for the Bulls. And now he is a fundamental piece of the Pacers, becoming one of their best 3-point shooters. Aaron is the newest Holiday inducted into the league, now playing alongside Justin for the Pacers. Unlike Justin, however, Aaron did hear his name called draft night, and is currently carving out a nice role for himself on the team. And because they play on the same team, when the Pacers met the Pelicans 2 years ago, they became the first brother trio to play in the same game in NBA history. Number 2. The Antetokounmpo brothers. Now that we're on the theme of brother trios, we might as well talk about the Antetokounmpo brothers. Now, if Drew took some of the spotlight from his brothers, then Giannis took the whole spotlight home with him when it comes to the attention he receives over his brothers. Being a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and freak athlete that he is, there's enough said about Giannis out there. And while his brothers Kostas and Thanasis may not be as freakishly athletic, they are still NBA-ready players with some pretty super genetics. And did you know, Giannis wasn't the first one in the NBA? Thanasis, 2 years older than Giannis, actually played for the Knicks G League affiliate and actually bounced from the G League for a while before ending up in Milwaukee with his brother. Kostas, on the other hand, got to play a bit for the Mavericks and was able to show off some of that family athleticism before being shipped off to the defending champion Lakers. It's hard to find playing time on a squad like the Lakers, but if you're watching a Laker blowout in the 4th quarter, you might see Kostas out there trying to dunk on some heads. But did you know athletic family genes didn't stop there? The oldest brother, Francis, played basketball for a bit, but soccer was his true calling card, as he played for a professional club in Greece for several years. And the talent is still rising, as Alex, the youngest brother, is only 19 and playing basketball for a professional club in Spain. There very well could be a day where 4 Antetokounmpo brothers are playing in the NBA at the same time. Number 3. The Martin brothers. It's pretty rare that a pair of twin brothers make the league. Now add in that they are identical twins and play for the same team, and it becomes almost unbelievable. Aside from the Morris twins, Caleb and Cody Martin are the only identical twins to play on the same team. In fact, Caleb and Cody have been on the same team their entire lives, from high school to college to the G League and now the Hornets. The two have never been apart. From a basketball standpoint, while the brothers are no pushovers, they haven't made a splash in the league, so the craziness that 2 identical twins have played on the same team for their whole lives hasn't really hit anybody yet. I mean, as a defender, wouldn't you have to be constantly checking the jersey numbers just to make sure you have the right brother? Regardless, the Martin brothers are both young wings with great size and unique playing styles, so there is still time to make a name for themselves as individuals, much as the Morris twins have done in the past few years. Number 4. The Dragic brothers. We all have come to know Goran Dragic, but have you heard of his brother Zoran? I know it sounds like we're making it up, but it's true. The all-star guard really does have a brother with an eerily similar name who played in the league. In fact, the two actually played together for 2 seasons. Back when Goran was making a name for himself with the Phoenix Suns, the team decided to sign his younger guard brother Zoran to a short contract. Zoran didn't receive much playing time, but there was an interesting moment when Goran, Zoran, and Markieff and Marcus Morris were all playing on the court at the same time for the same team. It was the first time in NBA history that 2 sets of brothers were playing for the same team and all on the court at the same time. And then in 2015, the Suns would trade the Dragic brothers to the Miami Heat, a deal that 5 years later would help them reach the NBA Finals. On behalf of Goran, not Zoran of course, Zoran got a few minutes here and there and actually scored 22 points in a game down the stretch of the season, but he was inevitably traded around a few times and ended up getting waived. Zoran then went back to playing basketball in Europe and is now playing for a EuroLeague club. He may not have had the success of his older brother, but at least they were able to play together. Number 5. The Thompson brothers. Some of you may already know that Klay Thompson's father, Michael Thompson, was a backup center for the Lakers in the 80s, winning 2 championships with Magic. But did you know about his older brother who has the same name as their father? Michael Jr. has definitely not had the same career as his brother, but he will always be able to say he's made the NBA. All the way back in 2011, Michael didn't receive the same fate as his brother, who was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. But nevertheless, he was taken by a G League affiliate and immediately began making the grind toward the league. He was acquired by the Cavs in the 2011-12 season, even starting a few games. But that was just the start of a journey which consisted of getting signed and then immediately waived by teams. Eventually, Michael made his way to the Santa Cruz Warriors, an affiliate to the team his very own brother was on. Interestingly enough, Steph Curry's brother Seth was also on the team. So while Steph and Klay were already the Splash Brothers we know today, Michael and Seth were dubbed the Splash Brothers of the D-League. Number 6. The Griffin Brothers. While his play has hit a decline in the past couple of years, circa 2009, Blake Griffin was the most talked about rookie in a long time. Not only was he incredible his rookie season, but his endless highlights made him a star. But in all that glitz and glamour, everybody forgot that he wasn't the only Griffin drafted that year. Blake's older brother Taylor was coming off a solid college career and was drafted 48th to the Suns. Now, obviously, Taylor wasn't ever going to be what Blake was, but that's okay. The two had already found a lot of success as teammates growing up. They both attended Oklahoma Christian School, where they would play for their father and win 2 state championships. Then came college, where Taylor was putting up decent numbers and by senior year, averaged just about 10 points per game with 6 rebounds, over a steal a game, and all on 53% shooting. He and Blake even ended up bringing Oklahoma to the Elite 8 that year. Taylor signed with the Suns, but never really saw the light of day. He got passed around the league a few times before playing in the G League and eventually playing overseas. And for Blake, well, we all know how his career has been playing out. Number 7. Brothers of NBA history. We've already gone through a lot of brothers who are still in the NBA, but what about some forgotten brothers of the past? The Barry brothers may have been overshadowed by the legacy of their Hall of Fame dad, Rick Barry, but they each found a way to insert themselves in the league. Brent won 2 titles with the Spurs and had some pretty stellar seasons with the Supersonics, as well as winning the dunk contest in a warm-up jersey. His brothers John and Drew didn't receive as much attention, but both were deadly 3-point shooters who probably would have benefited more playing today. We all know the human highlight reel Dominic Wilkins, but did you know the Hall of Famer had a brother who played in the league at the same time? Gerald Wilkins, who played for the Knicks, was no bench warmer either, putting up solid numbers over a decent career. The two even competed in the same dunk contest. We'll let you guess who did better. Horace Grant won 3 championships, along with an all-star nod over his career. Yet, a lot of people don't know that he had a brother, Harvey, who didn't necessarily have the career Horace did, but managed to be good enough to play 11 seasons. It bears to mention that Harvey Grant also fathered current NBA brothers Jeremiah and Jaren Grant. Jim and John Paxton don't get a lot of love when looking back at NBA history, but Jim was actually a 2-time All-Star with the Blazers, and John was fortunate enough to win some rings alongside none other than Michael Jordan. And perhaps the most forgotten NBA brothers ever, Tom and Dick Van Arsdale, had eerily similar and successful careers. Both 6'5" wings played at Indiana before getting drafted one right after the other in the 1965 draft. Both made the All-Rookie team, both made 3 All-Star appearances, and both finished off their career together on the 1977 Phoenix Suns team. They were even only separated by less than 1,000 total career points, Tom edging out his brother for about 800 more. So that's it for today. What NBA brothers do you find most interesting? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.